and I am going to do the Perfect Palette 2 tag for you. Now here's something interesting. I went back to go find and then link the Perfect Palette 1, or at least find it so I could kind of refresh my memory as to the answers. I never did the first one. I don't even know how that happened. I love me a palette, and I'm fairly certain that the originators of this, and I will link their, I think it's I Love Faces. I'll link their video below, and I'll link their, their original as well as this one below for you guys. I think they tagged me in the original one, if I remember correctly, and I have no idea how, I don't know. So I may do the original Perfect Palette tag down the line if that's something you guys want to see, even though that was forever ago, but at any rate, I'm going to do the Perfect Palette 2 tag. Crystal from Miss Crystal tagged me. Thank you so much, Crystal, for tagging me. I will link her below as well. I've mentioned her several times before. And I don't know if anybody else has tagged me. If you have, I apologize. I think this one just fairly recently came out. So I have my sheet standing up here before me, and let's just go ahead and get started. So the first question is eyeliner, brush, or nothing included? For me, nothing included. 9 times out of 10, I don't like the brush. Sometimes I use the liner, sometimes I don't. For me, frequently I'll keep the liner, like with those Stila cardboard palettes. These ones, I just went to pull it and see, and sure enough, I have the liner in there. That's what often I do, is I just end up keeping the liner in there, and so I never use it. And the brushes, like, I know a lot of people really liked them. I didn't like the brushes on the Urban Decay, that came in the Urban Decay Naked palettes. My original Naked palette had the double-ended liner, and I did use that up, but I don't need anything. Just give me the shadows. Okay, the next question is name a palette that you've hit pan on. If we are talking about like an actual palette, then I only have one. If we're talking about one that you've put together, like what Crystal talked about, then I have 2. So the first one is the Naked Basics, and I was trying to pan this last year and just decided it wasn't a good idea for me to try to pan a palette. But you can see Walk of Shame, or WOS is the one that I hit pan on. That is it. And then I do have a MAC palette. I've talked about this before. I keep this on my vanity and use this all the time. And it has 4 shades that I use regularly. Blanc Type, you can see I've hit pan on that. Hopefully you can see. That is Wedge. This is Shale or Quarry. I just looked, that is Quarry. I think I flip-flopped them when I took them out. Soft brown. But you can, I've hit pan on those. I use those, one of those shades or 2 of them almost every single day. All right. Favorite Naked palette. This was not difficult at all. The original Naked. Absolutely my favorite palette. I don't know. Well, the colors are warm, bronzy. There's even kind of a little taupe in there. I don't love how all of these perform, but this is still by far and away my favorite palette. Of all of the Naked palettes, if I had to give them all away and only keep one, would be no question. Absolutely that one. I like the basic ones as well, but I think you can find those shades elsewhere. No need to explain my answer. Just give my answer. All right, favorite holiday or limited edition palette. I'm kind of cheating a little bit here because I have 3. Only because, well, I'll give the reasons why I have 3. The first one I probably would have picked is the Tartlet, Be Your Own Tartist. I just really enjoyed the shades in this palette. However, Crystal named that one, so I decided that one didn't count, but I wanted to tell you. Secondly, was the Lorac Pro Metal. The only reason that this is the only reason that I'm also including this is what I'm trying to say. It's because I'm not sure if it is still available or not. It might still be available, but I just think these were so great. I really loved the shades in here. And my favorite actually was probably the Rose Gold, believe it or not. Not the one that looks more taupey. But then my true answer is the Vice 3. So this was last year's Vice palette with a useless brush in it. I just found this palette so easy to work with. It's one of the few that I'd kind of like to go back and do another 4 Looks 1 palette with, but I feel badly when you can't, it's not available, people can't get it anymore, but I don't know, it just seemed to me to be a very complete palette. Pops of color, neutrals, mattes. I just was a great palette. So if I am only allowed one answer, it's this one. And then also these ones. It's my channel, I can do what I want. Okay, the next one is name a palette you would repurchase or wish you had a backup of if it was no longer available. And I actually my answer would probably be the same as Crystal's on this, the Too Faced Natural Eyes. I really like this palette. It's one that I use quite a bit, but I never talk about. And this is the new one, not the old one that had all the glittery nastiness in it. But I love these shades. They're just so pretty. They're neutral. They work very well. And then also the Urban Decay Naked palette. So I kind of have two answers for that as well. What can I say? This is why I don't do tags very often, because I can't follow the rules. All right, name a shade you wish were sold individually. And I didn't even have to, as I almost drop it. I didn't even have to think about that for a minute. It was Garnet from the Lorac Pro, which is that shade right there. It's just so pretty, and I don't know that it's necessarily super unique, but it's kind of tricky, I think. So there is Garnet right there, and the only shade that I have singly that comes close to it is Roach from Urban Decay. But I don't know, there's just something about Garnet. It definitely has that, like the name would imply, garnet to it. So it has that kind of red undertone. I just have not found that in other shades. So Garnet was the very first thing that came to my mind when I saw that question. All right, the next one was wild card question. Pick a question from the original tag to answer. So I picked the best color names, and I just think that not necessarily just this palette, but all of the balm color names are just so stinking cute. So the one that I have here is the Rockstar palette, or the Balm Jovi. And, you know, as a musician, I appreciate like Adagio, Allegro, those kind of shades. And Alice Copper is cute to me. Blink 1982, Metal Ica instead of Metallica. You know what I'm saying? I really think the Balm has just the cutest names, the cutest packaging. They know how to do a product packaging and name upright. And the last question is, name a palette you would recommend to a friend. It depends for me on the friend. Are we talking about a friend that doesn't have much in their collection? Are we talking about, you know what I'm saying? So probably the palettes that I have recommended the most to people, aside from the Urban Decay Naked, which we've talked to this. So is either the Too Faced Natural Eyes or the Lorac Pro. I feel like if you are kind of starting out, even though there's a good amount of fallout with the Lorac Pro, there are a lot of things you can do in here. You can do this basic natural eye, something light over the lid and easy in the crease. You can do a deep smoky eye. You can add some color. I just think, and because it's so versatile, because it has the row of mattes and the row of shimmer. Apparently I can't talk. A row of shimmers. I just think it's a really versatile palette. So I would say the Lorac Pro, and this is the one I've probably purchased the most to give to friends and that sort of thing. So I just want to thank Crystal again for tagging me, and thank you to the two lovely ladies who started this tag video. I really enjoyed the first one. I am still appalled that I didn't do it. I don't know how that happened. But very creative. I liked the tag a lot. So job well done. Like I said, I will link both of them below. On my face today, I feel like the color is changing all of a sudden in here. I'm not sure why. The sun's coming up. On my face today, I have the same base as I have been wearing, and it's almost, you guys want to see. Look, that is all that I have left of the Pond's BB cream. Using it up, my friends. I'm using it up. And not that I don't like it. I'm just ready for something new. And on my cheeks, I have the Fiona Styles. I haven't even shown this in a haul yet, I don't think. Depends on when you guys see this. And this is in Maiden Lane. Really, really pretty. On my eyes, I've been playing with my new palette. If you are not on any of my social media, then you probably haven't seen it. This is the latest collab that I'm doing with Camp Cosmetics. And it's called Get Your Game On. Was named by one of my subscribers. Hopefully you guys can see those colors very well. I feel like that pink isn't showing up so well. But I have kind of a combination of these two all over my lid. I have the gray in the crease, also some of the purple in the crease, and then that gray beneath my lower lash line. And I wet the gray as a liner and use that as my upper liner. You know what I'm saying. And then on my lips today, I have the Chanel Double Intense in light rose. And I think that's everything. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. And in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye.